Where'd he go?
Alive.
Okay, we
Hey,
back.
wow. Yes.
Yes.
Hi.
Don't you love technical
Right.
difficulties? Boom. Do,
All
do, do,
right.
do.
All right. Here we go. Here we go. Sorry, I'm responding to some of our viewers. They wanted to know what happened.
Oh yeah, yeah. Technical difficulties.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
happens. It's technology. It's not
Yes.
perfect.
Sorry, Lord.
We're back.
Yeah.
It works while it works though. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So sorry about that, Michelle. You were
I don't even
explaining
know
to
where I was at because I don't even know where I left off. But
you were talking about. Well, you were
I
talking
know.
about. Okay. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
when I the breakthrough that I had when I realized that okay, I'm where I should be. When I started the mentorship program, and I felt like it was just so purposeful. I mean, when I wake up, that's the first thing I'm thinking about is how I can serve in that area and how I can, use my voice to glorify him and all of these things. And I screamed from the top of my lungs. Like it was just like a release because it was just finally, you can't, before someone can say, oh no, well, maybe you shouldn't do it that way. Or I think maybe this opportunity is better. And I could go in any direction. But when you know what God has called you to, I screamed so loud. I know my neighbors probably thought I was like tripping, but it was a release. It was a breakthrough that I had never had. And so, I mean, it's just amazing what God is doing right now.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, you tell them mind your business.
That's
Before they
right.
even come over it. No, no, no.
That's
Go grass
right.
green over there. Go ahead.
Stay in your
Mow your
lane.
line.
Stay in your
Stay in your
lane.
lane.
I'm telling
All of that.
you. Because you'll be lost. I had there was a friend, they're like, well, you're not business minded, or you're not this, or you can't do that. If you listen to every opinion, like no,
We'll
Well,
try to
you
gotta
know I'm not
confuse
that. Then help
you.
me then. So are you business minded? You gonna help a sister out? You gonna
you
point me in
know
the direction of somebody that is like, don't come with problems if you ain't got no solutions, homie. That's
yeah,
why I tell people I'm about solutions, not problems. If all you can
That's right.
tell me about whatever I got going
That's
on
right.
is problems, you are the wrong type of person in my face.
and
Say it,
then you
Doc.
give it to God and let God do his thing. Now I have 3 businesses. So you just why you can't go in every, you just gotta just let God do his thing with you. And so it's exciting and it's just so much freedom in that.
I just want to say
And
one thing. Those are just distractions. Be still. I know that I am God. Psalms 46:10. Because
Yes.
those are just
boom.
distractions. Be still. I know that I am God.
And
Yeah.
I would say the most important thing to understand too about boundaries is that they are not the same thing as walls.
Come on.
Walls keep things out and it keeps you in. Boundaries are movable. They are flexible and you don't have to go, get the sledgehammer and all that stuff for the brick. Walls are sturdy and they're stationary and they're very hard to knock down. They're super easy to build up though.
They're
But once you put
firm.
them up, it's very hard to knock them down. So do not create walls thinking that they're boundaries. Like, oh, this is going to keep me safe. Your boundaries aren't necessarily to keep you safe. They're to keep you, as Alicia said, in your best version of yourself. So, as I said, they are flexible and they move because your best version is going to change day to day because your daily situation is not going to be the same. So, you have to understand that your boundary is more so like a preemptive thing. If you know that you're going to such and such place and you tend to have this type of reaction going there, that's when you get your boundaries together. Like, okay, well, if I'm asked to do this, I'm going to say no, or I'm going to have to let them know to let me check my schedule. So don't say yes first, at least. So you don't necessarily have to say no right away, but also don't say yes first. And that was another thing that I implemented that helped me out a lot. And I didn't have to worry about did I just miss a good opportunity. But usually if you say, well, let me think about it, people will give you time to, you know, really ruminate on if it's beneficial to you and going to move you forward as well as them.
Wow, that's so good that you said that. Because we just want to help and serve everybody. We'll, you know, and I mean, I actually realized, see, I'm the queen of power naps. And then the other day I asked myself, I set my alarm for 15 minutes. But what I've trained myself is that, am I only worthy to rest for 15 minutes? Because it's like I have to be awake to serve and give and do and move around and all these moving parts. And like Alicia Keys said, you know, all these, you know, different hats you're wearing. And I actually trained myself that I'm only worthy for a power nap. And now I've learned to, you know, say, hey, wait, you can't just come bust through the door when you need something. This is the time when we're going to have, you know, playtime. This is when we're going to do this. This is when we're going to do that. I need that time to reset. I gotta have that for myself, you know? And so, yes, I'm still learning. I don't have it down packed, but we gonna get this thing right in 2021. Okay.
That's right. Let's not forget that we're not going to take other people's burdens.
Oh,
That's
Lord, I'm guilty as charged. I'm guilty.
Let's not forget that we are not going to take other people's burden, and we are going to get our house in order. We're going to get ourselves in order.
That's exactly how I ended up single-ish again. Like I was single. I was definitely still single because I wasn't like engaged or anything, but I was giving my attention to this guy. And then when he found out that he couldn't just take my attention when he required it, it became an issue. And it was like, well, I don't know what to tell you because my boundaries say that's a you problem.
Amen.
And I did not take on the emotional manipulation he tried to pull. Oh, I opened up to you and you did this to me. Nope, nope, nope.
Bye.
All sounds like a personal problem. And that's what you have to beware of. We call those energy vampires, where they come and they trying to suck the life and the light out of you with their little emotional manipulations. Like, oh, well, you said you loved me. If someone says that to you, they are trying to manipulate you.
Yes.
They are not
controlling
using
you.
Love. English is not a word. It's a word because I said it.
Love is an action.
But yes, do not let people emotionally manipulate you. And that is what boundaries protect you from. My boundaries were set. I have prior obligations and I was not going to put those aside for anyone because I obligated myself to that. So that was a boundary that I was not allowing him to cross. And once whatever manipulation or however he tried to spin it, you came up against the boundary and you found out it was a no-go. Womp womp.
Yes. Yes. Be careful who you attach yourself to.
Absolutely. And so, Miss Ev, I wanted to say something to, you know, your point of saying, be still. Psalms 46:10 is one of the very first, matter of fact, it's the very first scripture that I learned and internalized some years back. It's the first scripture that God had given me. And we're talking about being still. And, you know, I went away. God had me go away this past weekend on a personal retreat. And he called me to a place of being still, a place of stillness and a place of rest. And the experience was just, it was an experience. That's all I can say. It was an experience. But what I learned about being still is not that you're not doing anything when you're being still. It's not that you're not moving when you're being still. It's that you are allowing yourself to let go of all of the worries and all of the concerns and all of the busyness of your everyday daily life. And you're allowing God that opportunity to come in and confront you with the things that you have been avoiding, the feelings, the emotions, the thoughts, the things that you have been avoiding, that you have been, suppressing. And so when I was left to myself, all of these things surfaced, and it wasn't an easy thing to confront neither. It wasn't an easy thing to accept, but I had to sit there in front of the mirror and allow the mirror to minister to me about me. And I had to accept God's truth about me. Again, you know, this is a continuing thing. It's a process continually to allow yourself to be placed in front of the mirror, because it's one thing, you know, to hear what other people have to say about you. It's one thing to even come into the knowledge or the revelation of how you see yourself, but it's a totally different thing when God speaks to you about who you are. And it's not always pretty, because he's going to deal with your good, your bad, and your ugly. But you have to be willing to accept what his truth is, because his truth conquers all. It overshadows, you know, all of that. I kind of went off in a tangent just now, but I don't know why I said
No,
that. But anyway, you know,
that's good.
that's what
Yeah.
this is, or resting and stillness is about. And when you rest, another thing that I learned is that it was when you are called to rest, you're checking out of, again, those daily concerns and those things that you know you're worried about, and you're escaping the problems, you're escaping life, but you're checking into him, and he'll give
Mhm.
you rest. You know,
Yes,
and
yeah.
so um it's just
And you find
it's such a
yourself too.
God thing. Yes,
And,
yes,
and you
absolutely. It's
find
such a God thing that
yourself.
you would say that, you know.
Yes, yes,
Um,
yes.
so I mean, this spiritual retreat is crazy. I'm telling you, I have something set up, and I can't wait for things to kind of lighten up with this COVID-19, because this retreat place is phenomenal, and I just to try to explain it would do no justice for the experience that each person, you know, that each person has. But yes, definitely. So, hey, Miss Carolyn is in
Carolyn.
Hey,
Hey,
the
What's going
How
on,
welcome.
are
Queens?
you?
What's this
Hey,
around your neck?
hey, Queens. Y'all know I had to come sparkly, right? Yeah, I had to wear my purple. Had to be royal.
Yes.
Had to be, you know,
So, Miss
gotta just
Carolyn,
come in the room.
we're discussing boundaries. You know, our theme for the month is self care, and our topic for this week is boundaries. Can you give
Okay.
us a quick, you know, dialogue about what self boundaries mean to you,
Self boundaries.
or boundaries? Yeah, well, your
Okay.
boundaries that you're creating for yourself. Rather, I'll say it that way.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. That's why I had to clarify. I'm like, self boundaries.
Sorry.
Self boundaries. Yeah, they are boundaries you create for yourself. They're boundaries that you create for yourself on how you see yourself. Allowing yourself to see your greatness, to see your beauty, to see your the way you've been created. So, and the reason why that's why I was like, did you just say self boundaries? I'm like, this is perfect, because we just had, of course, everything is about self love, and we just had like the most lovey doveyest holiday a couple days ago, right? Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is usually it's supposed to be a day of love or more, for other people. But why not have it be love for yourself, right? That's that self love. So that's the boundaries that we have within ourselves to love ourselves and to see the beauty within ourselves, regardless what people see on the outside, if that makes any sense. Um, but the boundaries that we have within ourselves is that we have conditioned ourselves to present ourselves the way we believe other people want to see us. So we're not even having boundaries with our own self. Like, when you think of boundaries, you think of like, okay, when you're in a relationship and you got to set your boundaries, like, I'm not going to tolerate this. You're not going to talk to me a certain way. Like, you set a certain perimeter for other people on how they treat you. But how come you don't set those perimeters for how you treat yourself? Right. So, and I heard you say rest, like we need to get rest. And it's so funny because I was like, "Ooh, I'm so tired." Because I've been up, right? Been up grinding and doing all the things that I need to do. But at the same token, there's still a point in a time that we need to rest. There is still a time we need to be able to understand what you do for yourself. And the self boundary is okay, like Carolyn, okay, you need to turn this computer off and you need to get some sleep. Because if you don't get any sleep, you don't get the proper rest, then you're not able to think clearly. Then if you're not thinking clearly, then you're going to make mistakes. And if you make mistakes, then you're going to have to redo things. And then you just find yourself in this perpetual cycle of almost nothingness, right? And that's you're not owning who you are. Because if you understood your boundaries within yourself, you would know what's important to you and what you need to accomplish versus what you don't. If that makes any sense to anybody, because I'm telling you, this stuff is just coming off the dome. So as it's coming out, this is how the Lord is giving it to me. So,
as usual, Miss
that makes
Carolyn
sense.
comes in snapping when she said setting boundaries for yourself as to how you treat yourself. I was like, oh, that's it right there.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
you end up, especially over years, you don't realize how much of that outside language you've internalized to view yourself. And so now someone else doesn't have to come and poke you and knife you and all that because you're doing it yourself. Like
exactly.
that's the same concept that they have with oppression and stuff like that. We don't have to have an outside oppressor because we oppress ourselves. There doesn't need to be an enemy without when there's an enemy within.
Oh, and that's
Your
the major
own
enemy.
situation.
That's the
Yes.
major one, the one that's within. The one that's within is the major. That's the culprit. That's the one right there, the
Exactly.
one that's within.
That's right.
Because, it really, truly allows you to really not value yourself. Value yourself as a queen. We can look in the mirror, but how many times do we look in the mirror and don't even recognize the own reflection looking back at us?
That's good.
Right?
That's good.
Because we haven't set those clear boundaries. We haven't had this self-care moment. We haven't had, and like I can just admit, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only queen out there. When you have certain holidays, especially when you deal with a holiday that deals with love, right? It doesn't matter whether you're in love, you're not in love, or whatever. You had love, you didn't have love. It still impacts some people. Like certain holidays impact people, especially if you dealt with past trauma. Because it really there's scientifically it's proven that there's a correlation between certain holidays and survivors. That is just a trigger point. And I know for me it was. And I was like, it's Valentine's Day. I'm like, okay, it's just another day to me. So, but what I decided to do for that day was really, really, really focus on me that day. Like it was my day. Was my day. And I took that day and I just had this burning desire. I don't know why, but to really, really dig and have it's almost like I had an awakening on Valentine's Day because I fell in love with me. And I didn't just fall in love with me, I fell in love with all of me. And I wrote something very, very, prolific. And it was the art of loving me. And me is my magnified essence. Like all that is me. All that how I'm magnified, the core of who I am, and putting it in a perspective of regardless what other people see on the outside, this is truly who I see when I look at me. And this is so now I'm going to change your perspective of how you see me. And what I did is I used the picture of me because it's no secret. I tell people I do aerial fitness, and my aerial fitness is one of the things I do is pole. So I had a picture of me on a pole. Now, of course, people go, oh, you a stripper? I'm 51 years old. Stop playing. Oh, you pole dance? Whatever you want to call it, it's fitness. But now there's a different perception that goes with it. So now, but when I look at it, I see art, I see beauty, I see poise, I see grace, I see strength, I see character, I see all of those things. So now when you look at it, because you know me, and now if I'm showing this to you where you've been conditioned that it means something else. So now when you look at it, you go, wow, yeah, it is beautiful. It is, because it's a piece of art. It's like finding yourself and finding that jewel inside. We talk about the jewels on our crowns. When you find it inside, it was almost like rediscovering a long lost piece of Van Gogh. You know how priceless that is? That part.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
That's powerful.
Yes.
That definitely.
I know last night even how we respond to things on social media, even if it's a comment, every comment doesn't need a response. You can just keep it moving. And, people are responding to the way, Texans are, experiencing this state of emergency that we're in. And there has been a lot of things negative said. And so I found myself going into this, back and forth thing with somebody. And I'm like, wait, this is getting me this this is taking me way outside of what I don't need to give this much energy. If it's gonna, take me out of my character, I don't have to agree with you. I don't have to like what you say. I don't have to respond. So, I mean, that's powerful what you said.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, because that's I mean, and people will do that. People will test you and they will get you to come out of get your crown off. They will not try to knock your crown off. Right. And so you're like, no, you have to, have those boundaries, have yourself, and then sit inside your own, your queendom, right? And go, okay, I'm not gonna be bothered. Like you said, where am I gonna put my energy? Like that's what queens do. Queens figure out where to put their energy, where they can be the most impactful, where they can have the most power, right?
Yes.
So, the queen, listen, I don't really know how to play chess, but all I know is the queen is the most valuable piece on the board, and the queen can move in all directions in any way she wants.
Wow.
And the queen is the one that has to be protected.
Yeah. That's the best way to end the show right there. That's it. That's it.
And I'm like, and well, with that being said, Miss Carolyn, because you stay dropping knowledge on us, can you tell us what your new thing is? What you're doing this month? Can you talk to us about that a little?
Yes. So, on the 28th of February. So it's kind of like ending Black History Month. So, I'm celebrating a year of a successful run of my film, The Good Life. And so I'm having another film screening, a virtual film screening. And what I plan on doing with it is to, with anyone that knows anything about films, there's these little reefs that come on them. And that usually means that it's valued in the community, in the film community. So to date, I've received, as a matter of fact, I just received one the other day from Toronto. So now I think I'm up to 15 laurels, which is amazing within the first year of entering into film festival. So I'm planning to continue to let this see where it goes before I can see it, prayerfully, hopefully, speaking into existence to have it distributed on, I don't know, Netflix or one of the cable stations or something to that effect. But that's what I want to do. And then I also want to be able to use part of because it's $10, just like going to the movies. And I want to use part of it also to not just spread the message of, you can heal from past trauma and abuse because it's my story, you can have a good life. Because I am a survivor of sexual child abuse, and which then led into domestic violence, which then led into selflessness, which then led into depression, which then led into not understanding and knowing my worth. So it all kind of, it's a trickle effect. So the film is going to be shown on the 28th. There's going to be a panel discussion afterwards and what I chose to do with this was I didn't do it alone because as we know, we may think that people do things all on their own, but there's always somebody there that added and contributed to what you did. And I'm always a proponent of putting a spotlight on everybody. So what I did is the individuals that were in my cohort in a program I was in, I'm going to showcase their like, minute versions of their films so they can get some shine as well. Because like I said, it's time to turn the highlight on. And that's what queens do. Queens recognize everybody. So that's what I plan on doing. And then also a portion of the proceeds will go to Survivors Action Assault Network. I got to remember the full name, but they basically deal with, it's an organization that deals with adults who are just really trying to uncover and heal from their past trauma and abuse. So that's what I plan on doing. And that's what I'm doing for this month. So, and I'm celebrating just kind of like a successful year, and why not do it with a film screening and bring it and continuously getting that message out there. So.
Wow. Congratulations. That's powerful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
We are definitely going to be tuning into that. We're going to make sure that we share all of your news concerning it. We're going to make sure we share all of your updates. Can you let our viewers know, because we may have some new viewers that's tuning in tonight. Can you let our viewers know how they can find you?
Sure, absolutely. You can find me on all social media platforms at Magnify Your Essence. You just find me. I'm Googleable, Carolyn Wilson. But if they, I know, right? It's crazy. But if they want to just kind of just get the synopsis, they can go for The Good Life. Just go to thegoodlife.doc.com. and that'll give you information for the film and a little bit about me. So, but pretty much that's it. So then the only other thing I have is a master class. Oh yeah, I have a master class coming up, a free. Well, I ain't gonna say free yet, but it's a master class coming up next month, next week on teaching people how to be fearless. So that's what I got coming up.
That's awesome.
Yes, how to be fearless. So thank you. I love you, queens.
Love you too.
Awesome. You stay moving. You stay doing your thing. You know, you stay creating opportunities for other women to engage, you know, to come out of their shell, you know, just being authentically, unapologetically you. And we really appreciate who you are. We really appreciate you sharing yourself with us and investing your time in us, you know, so we want to show you and shower you with much, much love and appreciation for all that you do. We're going to go ahead and close out. But before we close out, ladies, listen, we are talking about self-care this month, right? And we will continue to have this discussion on boundaries. You can head on over to our Facebook forum for the rest of the week, RockTrue Queens, and let's have a live discussion about it. You know, get in there and post live about how you feel concerning self-boundaries and what your experience has been with it. How can you encourage, you know, the next one to set those self-boundaries? What plan did you implement in your own life, you know, to create those boundaries? I keep saying stuff like those boundaries. We have, what do we have? Rock Single. We have Cafe Live. We have Rock Truth. We have Rock Youth, Rock Truth. We have Rock True Queens. We have so much more coming out of Rock Truth. And listen, I'm telling you, you want to get involved. Let's not forget that we have an opportunity for our pamper baskets. For those that want to become a sponsor, in order to become a sponsor, you know, all you have to do, you email our radio show and whatever products or services that you have that you want to donate. It could be a one-time donation or it could be an ongoing donation. And what will happen is we will, give you that recognition on the show. We will definitely help promote your business, put you out there. And, you know, it's a partnership. So partner with us, you know, especially if you're starting business and you need, because listen, sometimes you just don't get that support in your sphere of, you know, in your circle of influence. Okay. And so sometimes you need that opportunity or that platform that's going to be able to get you over into another land. So, and over into another area. So, listen, let's get that done. And we are working on the pamper basket. So we have, that tribute coming up soon. We're working out some kinks with it, but it's okay. It's going to happen. We're getting there. I'm going to ask Miss Evelyn to close us out with some encouragement for our viewers and for our host today. How can we adjust our crowns? Make sure that we adjust our crowns this week.
Definitely. We could adjust our crown by seeking the Lord, by staying encouraged, by speaking life to ourselves, by speaking life to our families. If you have children, speaking life to your children. If you're married, speaking life to your spouse. And by setting boundaries. Set boundaries. Start tonight. Start today. And just seek the Lord. Put God first in your life.
Oh, what happened?
I don't know.
Did we lose her?
Oh, well. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, yes, she did. Yeah.
So there you have it. Words of encouragement from Queen Evelyn. And we want to just again thank all of our subscribers. We want to thank our followers. We want to thank those that continue to support us, continue to show up. You know, you are the real MVPs. Without you, we wouldn't be moving the way that we are. So thank you for your participation.
Yes.
Join us again next Thursday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right back here. And we love you with the love of God. Have a blessed week.
Yes. Amen.
Adjust your crown,
Crown.
queen.
Ciao.